I'm Sabrina Samuels, and welcome to my show, Upfront and Personal. It's my intention to deliver information that will help us maintain a quality lifestyle in all aspects of our lives. So let's get started.
Welcome back to another edition of the Sabrina Samuels Show with me, Sabrina Samuels. Well, I have been recuperating, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, I had total knee replacement surgery 2 months ago. And I'm telling you, I am doing so well thanks to Dr. Steve Nguyen. And I want to dedicate this show to his outstanding work. This man is incredible. He had me up walking without a cane or a walker in 2.5 weeks. Not only that, I was driving my car in 3 weeks. Not to optimum speed yet because remember, total knee replacement. But I've got to share some exciting things with you about Dr. Steve Nguyen. And I'm going to show you my scarf. You can see it from here. And this is only 8 weeks out. 8 weeks out. Now just think, as time goes on, it gets better and better and better. I'm back in my heels. I don't wear high heels right away, but I am back in my heels and I'm out and about. Not at optimum speed yet, but I'm doing all the wonderful things that I enjoy doing, and I'm just so excited. So stay with us and I'll tell you all about Dr. Steve Nguyen. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Once again, I'm Sabrina Samuels, and I'm here today to just thank God for a successful total knee replacement. I know that's something that you don't think that I would talk about, but I wanted to share this exciting experience I had because you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I was scared to death to have total knee replacement. For 10 years, I suffered with my knee. I was a very athletic young woman into sports when I was a very young woman. I competed professionally. Also, I walked the catwalk, the runway as a professional model wearing those 5 and 6 inch stiletto heels. I put abuse on my knees that the average person could never walk through. Matter of fact, some of my students back in the day would say, Miss Sabrina, how can you walk in those heels? And I tell them, I say, well, I suffer for a living. And I tell you something that is really true. I did suffer for a living. And it really hurt me. It hurt my knees. It hurt my body. And I said, God, I just need some relief. I was still at the age of 61 now, still putting on my shoes, not heels that high, of course. I'm in 2.5, 3 inch heels now. But I still like to look good. I like to step out and have it together. But I was suffering. And ladies and gentlemen, when I go to speak at different events, I get off the airplane and I had to have a wheelchair right there for me to get through these airports. O'Hare, Washington Dulles, San Francisco airport. It was just horrible trying to make it from the terminal to my baggage, to the baggage claim area to get my baggage. And I said, you know, I've got to get something done. So 2 years ago, I wanted to have this done. I met Dr. Steve Nguyen. And things happened in my husband and my career where I had to postpone it. And I tell you, I was excited 2 years ago. When I had to postpone it, I was just devastated. But, you know, it is what it is. Let me tell you, 9 months ago, I revisited Dr. Nguyen and said, I've got to get this done. My husband and I do commuter marriage back and forth right now, and I really need to know what time will it take, you know, in terms of recuperating, because do I have to go to a nursing home or somebody has to take care of me, because we have a limited amount of time where we can just do this thing and heal with me healing satisfactorily, but you know, it would be weeks and not months. And he assured me that if my husband could be with me for 3 weeks, I would be up and driving. I couldn't believe it, but I knew it was true because I met so many of his patients who just sing praises. But it took 9 months on the books, and I did tell him, his PAs, I said, if you have a cancellation, let me know. And they were able to move me up 3 months in advance. I talked to my husband, and he talked to the people on his job, and everything happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I was so excited but nervous at the same time, because when you talk about total knee replacement, that's one of the worst things you can do, because it's very painful and the healing process is just horrendous. But I went in, and Dr. Steve Nguyen was so very kind, and he's a no-nonsense man. He wants you to take care of business. He has a protocol, and he's going to give you a book about that thick, and he means for you to follow those directions to get optimum benefit from his surgery. And I was in class every day prior to surgery. I get my book out and study, and I do what he said do. And it's just actually things that you should be doing already, but I followed it to the letter. It was time for surgery, and I went in, and before I knew it, I was out of surgery, and I didn't even know I had surgery. My husband was right there with me. And that night, they made me get up and walk that night. I didn't have to get on that machine that rotates the leg. The next day they call it knee camp, like boot camp. It was serious, knee camp. You go in there and you get up, you have to bend your knee, you have to do certain things. And I was like, what? They've got to be kidding, but I did it. And I went home the very next day, that afternoon after knee camp. The 3 weeks that my husband was there with me, he took good care of me, but I did what Dr. Nguyen and his PAs and all of his assistants and staff said do. And I could not believe that when I started my physical therapy, they told me, well, you'll be in physical therapy for 6 weeks. Now, my husband went with me up until the 3rd week. And they said, well, you can get Uber to drive you because you have to get off your medication. You can't take the pain medication during the day. You can still take it at night, but 6 hours prior to driving, you cannot take this medication. So I didn't know what to do, but I said, I'm going to do it. In 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, I was driving. I had my little walker with me in 3 weeks. And so I went to my checkup with Dr. Nguyen, and the PA said, why are you still on the walker? I said, well, I'm nervous. I'm afraid. She said, well, you'll know when you don't have to have that walker, when one day you start moving around and you forget that you have it. And sure enough, in physical therapy, I was doing my routines, whatever the physical therapist told me to do, and I walked away and forgot the walker was there. So I didn't need the walker after 3 weeks, was driving, back in my heels after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I'm back in the higher heels, but I'm very cautious. I'm not 100% optimum speed ahead or full speed ahead, but I'm doing well. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this because if you have to have total knee replacement and you're afraid, don't be afraid. I live in Orlando, Florida, and unfortunately there's only one Dr. Nguyen, but he's so incredible. It's just wonderful. But whoever your doctor is, do your homework, understand what you need to do, your protocols, so that you can have a better quality life. It feels so good to be able to walk and not hear my knees crunching like they're gonna just give out or just come apart. I tell you, and I still have youth in me, 61 years young, and still vivacious and ready to take life on and just continue to be the best I can be. And it's terrible when you have something hurting you. So don't suffer. And I tell you, you'd be surprised how many young people who are athletic or who are professional athletes who have to have knee replacement or knee surgery or some kind of surgery so that they can have optimum health. Don't let fear stop you, but do your research. And if you're fortunate enough to live in this area where I am and you're able to get on Dr. Nguyen's books, because he is 9 to 12 months out. That's how busy this man is. I consider it a blessing that I was able to get on his books, and I'm very thankful. So if you have that opportunity, I hope that you will look at Dr. Steve Nguyen. I'm not here to do a commercial for him. I'm just here to say I suffered and I didn't have to. And whoever your doctor is, whoever you decide to go to, there are wonderful doctors out here, but do your research and understand what your part is. Don't think it's all on the doctor. Understand that you have to do your part. Follow their protocols because it's very important if you want to have the optimum speed. I'm Sabrina Samuels, and I hope you've enjoyed this little tidbit. And I'm going to put a little information up about Dr. Steve Nguyen, so if you're interested, please give him a call. So I just wanted to share my story with you and to let you know you don't have to be afraid to move forward, to have the best that life has for you. Have the best in your health. Have the best in your thinking. Have the best that you can have in life. And know that our Creator has made things for us to enjoy. And we have to have a positive attitude, a loving attitude, a giving attitude. Not taking any mess now, I didn't say that, but I said to be the best you can be and to receive and expect that from others. Until next week, I'm Sabrina Samuels, wishing you love, peace, happiness, our Heavenly Father's divine order, and the best that you can be at all times. I'll see you next week. Bye now.